Talking now to the Conservative MP for Lichfield, Michael Fabricant, himself no stranger to reality TV, although a different sort of beast you were dealing with, weren't you, Michael Fabricant?
Oh, I mean, I was asked to go on I'm a Celeb, Get Me Out of Here, but I refused. Actually, I'd just been the government pairing whip, so I was the guy who decided which ministers and backbenchers could take time off and which couldn't. So I thought it'd be a bit unfortunate if I was to give myself a month or two off just to go off down to Down Under. So I didn't do that. I did, of course, do First Dates, which only took a day and was actually to raise money for cancer charities. So I don't feel too guilty about that one.
Just in terms of what's happening with Matt Hancock, in a sense, it sends a signal, doesn't it? If you have an MP who makes a decision partway through a parliament that actually they're going to disappear for weeks on end. Now, Nadine Dorries did do it, but that was in the very early years of the government. She'd only just been not been elected an MP that long, I think I'm right in saying. And she was kicked out of the parliamentary party for it. She then got the whip back. She went on to become a cabinet minister. Matt Hancock's trajectory looks to be the other way around.
Well, I mean, I think he's trying to reinvent himself and he's doing quite a good job. He's not taking my advice because I said to him that he should be as obnoxious as possible and then get voted off after the first week and then he'd be forgiven by the government whip. Seems he's actually been quite charming. People in Lichfield are telling me that he's quite likeable on the programme. I must confess to you, though, Shaun, I'm not actually watching the show. I'm seeing bits and pieces of it, little clips which I've seen. I'm actually going back to back and really ploughing into The Crown at the moment, which I suspect is rather more entertaining, though rather more fictional.
Yes, I mean, it's interesting you said that because John Major, of course, your former leader, was pretty unhappy with it. I mean, I was talking to one of the actors who's in it, plays Dodie Fayed earlier in the week here on BBC News, and he was absolutely, taking a very strong line saying, look, we are upfront about what we're doing. It's very carefully thought through. I mean, you're contemporary with some of the events that are now being portrayed in it. Do you think it's accurate, or did it smell to you of over-fictionalisation?
Well, I mean, obviously, the private discussions that are going on between the royal family or between the royal family and John Major must be fiction in the sense that nobody would give that information away. However, it does sit within the historical framework of events. But as I say, the conversations must be pure fiction. And I know that John Major is really quite upset about it all. In particular, one aspect where Prince Charles is saying, can't we get rid of the Queen? I want to be king. I mean, that absolutely did not ever happen. So I wish, actually, although it's pretty obvious because we're Brits and we know, and as you say, it's almost getting into recent history. So we Brits know what is fiction and what isn't. But, The Crown is incredibly popular in the United States and all around the world. So I do wish they had actually put at the beginning, look, this is fiction, this isn't fact, but based maybe, if you like, on true events.
Yeah, it'd be terrible if some viewers in the States are confusing it, getting mixed up between The Crown and Downton Abbey. On a more serious note, you may have seen these stories, or heard about these stories in The Guardian today, suggesting that members of Dominic Raab's private office have been given the option of going to another job if they don't particularly relish the thought of working for him again. I mean, this is not good for government, is it? It's getting a bit of a reputation. We had Priti Patel, the findings of the independent ministerial advisor, although Boris Johnson didn't agree with them, but nonetheless that she had bullied. We have the allegations that led to Gavin Williamson's resignation. Now these about Dominic Raab. I mean, for a relaunch, it's not very helpful for the government.
No, it's not. But, Dominic Raab is demanding, but I mean demanding in a good way. I mean, it's important that you have ministers who say, look, this is the direction I want my department to go in. Please go away and do just that. I know that Dominic's style at times can be quite sort of businesslike, if you like, and maybe some people don't like that. But to say that he's a bully, I just don't see that, actually, in Dominic Raab. And these stories that he was plucking out tomatoes from a pret-a-manger roll and chucking it at civil servants, he denies it totally. And does sound a little bit unreasonable to me. Well, I'm more worried actually about all these leaks coming from the civil service. I mean, you do wonder, they have to be professional as well as ministers.
Yes, well, of course, we never know with leaks, do we? Whether they come from civil servants or from ministers, because somehow leak inquiries never really ever seem to get to the bottom of it.
Exactly right, yes.
Michael Fabricant MP, pleasure to speak to you again. We'll let you get back to your box set of The Crown. Thanks very much for your time.
I'm streaming it, not a box set.
Ah, it's the new world. You're ahead of me. Thank you very much.